Hello there, my name is Percival and welcome to the virtual world. In today's video of What the Fuck Is, we're going to dive into the world of virtual reality and see what virtual reality is, what it was, what it will be like in the future. This is a new type of series I'm trying out, so if you enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe so it lets me know that you enjoy this kind of content. Virtual reality is defined as a computer-generated simulation of a three-dimensional image or environment that can be interacted with in a seemingly real or physical way by a person using special electronic equipment such as a helmet with a screen inside or gloves fitted with sensors. From reading that you can get a good idea of what virtual reality is, but honestly it's so much more than that. Virtual reality is its own world, its own universe, which we can create with the right tools. It's an escape from the real world and into a new one. The problems from real life can't affect you in there since you're in another reality. Is the taxman outside waiting to confront you about your tax fraud? Slap that VR on. They can't do anything about your virtual taxes. Or did your girlfriend recently break up with you and you don't know what to do? Put on that VR, have some fun with a virtual girl, cause they can't hurt your feelings. Plus, don't tell anyone I said this, but they can't get pregnant. You can do anything you set your mind to. It also right now is being used at some medical practices to train students, and also is being used instead of anesthetic in kids to reduce the pain. But the biggest thing we see in virtual reality is some of the virtual reality games. Virtual reality games are probably some of the best games I've ever played. I believe this is because of the immersion that you are truly seeing through the eyes of the character you're playing as. My favourite games are probably The Walking Dead VR, Half-Life Alyx, and how could I forget VR Chat. I've had my Oculus Rift S for about a week now, so it hasn't been too long, and I honestly can't wait to dive into more games. The VR community is a small one, but it is a good one as well, and I expect it will keep on growing into the mainstream. Now, we all know that the Virtual Boy was the first VR headset ever released to consumers, but what a lot of people don't know is that it wasn't the first VR headset ever announced to consumers. The first VR headset ever announced to consumers was the Sega VR headset for the Sega Genesis back at CES 1993. Due to technical difficulties though, the headset never made it out of the prototype phase, even though it already had 4 games developed for it. Fucking big loss for Sega! Next came the Nintendo Virtual Boy, which was what I was gonna name the channel, but I went with Percival instead because you've got. Look at the video where I fucking explain my username. The Virtual Boy was released in 1995, a massive commercial failure for Nintendo, and it was discontinued a year after its launch because of how poorly it sold. There were many reasons why the console didn't sell, but the main reasons were because it was insanely uncomfortable to use, and it only displayed 2 colors, which were black and red. And I think they should have gone black and purple, cause, yeah. Now, let's skip a bit to the year 2012, where it took almost 20 years for VR to get back up and running. A Kickstarter begins for the Oculus Rift, created by Palmer Luckey. I'm not doing voice acting, I'm sorry. Starting the modern VR era, the Kickstarter raised almost 2.5 million and showed that people still had faith in VR, and makes a dividing line between the failure of the Virtual Boy and the future of VR content. In the following years of 2013 and 2014, both the Oculus Rift Development Kit 1 and Development Kit 2 are released, and the development is going along smoothly. Through the strides Oculus was making, they had attracted the attention of the social media giant Facebook, who bought Oculus back in 2014. This was also the year where PlayStation announced their PlayStation VR, Samsung announced their Gear VR, and Google released their Cardboard VR. Then, in 2016, the Fire Nation... I'm not doing that joke again. Then in 2016, we had the big VR boom of 2016, where Oculus released the Oculus Rift CV1, and HTC released the HTC Vive, which were the first true consumer VR headsets of the modern VR era. It was an all-out war with no VR headsets spared in the battle. This opened many people's eyes to the world of VR, and allowing developers to make worlds for people to play in, and for those people to play in those worlds. In the 3 years between 2016 and 2019, VR was a bit barren with not a lot of games to play and people leaving it due to disinterest. Also in those years, phone VR died, which was known as the worst type of VR, so good riddance, I guess. While phone VR died, standalone VR HMDs like the Oculus Quest and Go were announced and released in 2019, and became very popular with many people due to there not being any cables to worry about, and literally you just put it on and you're there. But deal. Yeah, those weren't the only things released in 2019. The Oculus Rift S was released in 2019 and it was a massive hit with the PC VR users and is regarded as an amazing headset. But one more headset was released, the Valve Index. The Valve Index is known as the best consumer VR headset out there, and at this point in time, it's the VR enthusiast's dream. In today's state, VR is at one of its highest points. It's had more games than it's ever had before, available to everyone. VR headsets are easier to buy due to them being sold at a low and cheaper price, and being more readily available. And the community is growing bigger and bigger each day before we start taking over the world. I mean, what? Many YouTubers have managed to focus on virtual reality and turn into a career, like Thrillseeker, Drumsy, and the Virtual Reality Show, and more. The technology in these headsets as well have made massive strides from the early days of the Oculus Rift DK1, where motion sickness is greatly reduced and you feel totally immersed in the game. The most recent innovation that caught people's eyes is the Valve Index's experimental 144Hz mode. I see VR going down two routes. The first route I predict them is going down the near-auto route. Instead of projecting images onto your eyes, it will instead project those images straight into your brain and all the other senses, so it will actually feel like you're touching, smelling, tasting, hearing things while you're in the dreamlike state. Yeah, you can already tell I got this from Sword Art Online, but you're probably wondering now if both my theories are from fiction books and TVs. Yes. Yes, they are. I do see this being a bit far into the future, but this is definitely a possibility and will lead to the most immersive experience you can get in a video game. The second route I see VR going down is more like the book and film Ready Player One. This is where we'll be using omnidirectional treadmills, haptic suits and gloves, and a HMD for insanely immersive experiences, but not as immersive as the first route. Of course, both these routes could happen, and one could just lead to the other. But another aspect on VR's future I want to talk about is the community. Honestly, I see the community getting bigger and bigger into the future, and I see VR gaming taking over flat screen gaming. There will be an area in the market for flat screen gaming, but I believe that VR will be the mainstream form of video games, and then flat screen being in the situation that VR is in right now. Then again, this is all just some random guys on the internet speculation, and at the end of the day, we have no idea what's going to happen in the future. I do really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if so, please feel free to like and subscribe. It helps out a lot towards our goal of 200 subscribers by the end of the year. If you guys are interested in VR, then definitely give it a shot, and if you guys want, I can make a VR beginner's guide video. Also, if you guys want to see what I get into on my free time, hire me for a casting call, or watch me stream, all my social media links will be in the description. Going offline, guys, so I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!